The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Mark the truth while live on air light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby? Missing shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Mark the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? Dolly back in the house. It feels good to be out of the rain. Thank you for everybody that was following me live as we were on the scene of the active shooting that just took place just a couple hours ago. It appears that SHAWN Boker is on the run, 29 years old, and now he is wanted for murder and 2 counts of attempted murder on police officers. I'll give you a little rundown just in case you didn't see my last live. But first, leave your DNA all over the like button, okay? I know it's late night, not many of you here, but of course, still leave your DNA, all right? And feel free, if you're brand new and you're watching for the first time, to sub up, ring the bell for notifications, and all that good stuff. So just a few hours ago, we were live in the studio and we were covering the Austin Drummond case and the young boy, Jaden Spicer, who was missing out of Jackson, Kentucky, when over the scanner came in of 2 police officers being shot, and they were in the process of being rushed to the hospital here in Chesapeake, Virginia. So when we heard this, we ended our stream and shot to the location of where this was happening. By the time we got there, police had already got to the house. They didn't have the house surrounded, but they got to the house and they had already had paramedics out there because apparently they heard a woman screaming inside the house. And when they tried to make entry to the house, the suspect, allegedly, SHAWN Boker, started shooting through the door. And he shot 1 officer in the hand and 1 officer in the back. Those 2 officers were rushed to Chesapeake General Hospital with non-light. 39 years old? Okay, 39 years old. Go to bed, PJ, but thank you. Rushed to the hospital, okay, with non-life-threatening injuries. Time the police actually SWAT got there and busted up in the house, they found a woman with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. They rushed her to the hospital. She was DOA, okay? So she didn't make it. And this is alleged his wife or girlfriend. It's not quite clear yet. This is still an active ongoing investigation. But he fled, and he had been in the area of Greenbrier, Kempsville, in the Chesapeake area of Virginia, which sits close to the border of Virginia Beach. So we were out there, and we heard flashbangs, and I guess this is when they made entry to the house. We also watched the ambulance leave that was carrying, unfortunately, the lady that didn't make it. And it was storming pretty bad off and on. When we first got there, it was light rain. Then it started to pour rain. And then time it was over, and news had finally made it out there. And the spokesperson for the Chesapeake Police was out there to give an interview for you guys that watched. I did get to ask him a question about SHAWN Boker. You know, was there any kids in the house? Because we have his Facebook, and in his Facebook pictures, there's images of him with a small child. And we were just praying, hey, hopefully there's no, small children in this house, because in his thumbnail picture, clear as day, he is holding a baby. Okay. So we were thinking, hopefully this baby's not in there. But the police said at the time, there was no small children in the house. He has a son. Go to bed, PJ. Go to bed. You got to get up early in the morning. Okay. I got this under control. I'm not going to be here long. Carry your butt to bed. Okay. I know you need to wind down, but go to bed. Okay. So he has a son. I guess this is his son in this picture. Your head hurts. Well, try to get some sleep. Try to get some sleep. Reminds me of Austin Drummond. Yeah, well, it ended up being called into the police as a domestic situation. And I guess things escalated. And this guy had some previous charges for domestic violence. And, not nothing super, super major, but major enough that you could tell he was a violent individual. Drink plenty of water. It helps. I wonder who would, he had to have fled on foot because, he was shooting inside the house when the police arrived. But when they made entry into the house, he was not there. So I guess he started shooting, shot the woman, fled the scene through the back. So a lot of people believe he was in a vehicle, which I don't believe that he was. I believe he was fled on foot. But he has this vehicle right here. It looks to me like some type of red Mazda Miata. Okay, we've seen some vehicles leaving the scene that were red, but we don't think he left in a vehicle. What about the third cop shot? Only 2 were shot. Reports were coming in kind of sketchy in the beginning. Only 2 police officers were shot. One was shot in the hand. One was shot in the back. They were rushed to Chesapeake General Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So thank God. It's a RX-7, Mazda RX-7. That's what I thought, some type of Mazda RX, and you are correct, 7. Yeah, so we were able to find his Facebook. It's still pretty much open, but you have to be a member to leave a comment or see pretty much any of his posts. He joined in January of 2029, and his first picture is him with his son, which at this point, he's not going to be in that child's life. Domestic violence is major, Dolly. Yes. But we don't know the circumstances of that domestic violence. Was it just an argument? Was it? But yes, you're right. It is very seriously. And if you're in a situation where there's some type of abuse or things like that, that's not a car. That's a dinosaur. Okay. Go to bed, PJ. Yes, some people really enjoy those little cars. I don't know why, but they do. And of course, it's just another picture of his car and him with his baby. But right now, this man, like I said, is wanted in connection with the murder. And I'm assuming it's going to be his girlfriend or his baby's mama, or who knows? It could be another woman, and he could have this baby with somebody else, because this was in 2020. That would make the kid 5 years old now. That's why my concern was there any children in the house when this took place? Dolly, thank you for doing all this. No, not a problem, guys. It feels good. Now I know that I'm definitely going to have to put a big umbrella in the car, and probably get me a camera to take with me that has a little bit better microphone, or wear my mics from now on. I'll have to come to, do that, but usually I don't go to the scenes of local stuff, right? And I'm usually prepared when I go somewhere out of town. But here locally, I just wasn't prepared. Like we had an active shooter running around. I didn't have my vest on or nothing. And, I'm just standing out there and they don't know where this guy is. I don't want to be a victim myself of somebody crazy. Let me see what this is that was just sent to me. Here's another photo of them. Let me save it. Let's open it for it. And this is the man that they are looking for in this murder and the shooting of these 2 police officers. Okay. So if you're in the Virginia area or local to the 757 area, the rain sounded probably affected the news mics too. Yeah, but she had her mic up close to him, and the news people were really nice, even the police officer, he was just curious who I was when I was walking up, so soon I'll have media passes and all that because, we did start Dolly Vision Media Group LLC, and then I'll be able to apply for media passes, independent journalist badges, and things like that. So I will be able to get into the police press conferences, anything that the police do, I'll have credentials to get into, even, being able to bring my laptop and stuff like that into the courthouse when we cover these trials, these up and coming trials, which is a big step. We're just waiting for everything to go through and I get my LLC back, which has already been applied for. So we're just waiting on the word. And then, of course, I'll apply for all my media badges. But things keep happening right now, and I don't have that stuff. So I know we need umbrellas. I had a poncho the whole time I stood out in the rain. And I didn't realize that was in the car until right at the end, I realized, hey, I had a raincoat in this thing the whole time. And I'm sitting out here soaking wet to bring you guys this stuff live. And I'll probably have a cold tomorrow, but I think I'll survive. He was arrested in June, where he should have been let out and something bad happened. Shake my head. Well, it seems to be the case like that on all these stories, that once you release these people from jail, they end up doing something crazy. Now, I mean, just, appearance wise, he don't look like he don't have the crazy eyes. He don't look like a really bad guy. I mean, just by first appearance, like if I seen him, I wouldn't think, okay, you're some crazy dude, but he made a huge mistake tonight. He unalived his significant other and shot 2 police officers. And, we'll know more about this. I'm sure police are serving search warrants on his parents' house and anybody he's connected with right now. As of now, they still have everything, blocked off out there in Greenbrier, Kempsville area. SWAT has been at the Wawa. I don't know quite what that is, but the way it was pouring, it was about time for us to get up out of there. Of course, PJ had to work, so I wanted to get her back so she could get to bed. Did you hear about the sergeant shot 5 soldiers? Yes, today at Fort Story? No, not Fort Story. It was Fort Stewart. I can't remember what fort it was. Yes, but I heard about the sergeant that shot 5 soldiers. I was relaxing when all that was going on. I don't cover everything, just some things. Dolly and PJ go bags. Hers includes pins. Just a run-of-the-mill average guy, no tats, gang markings. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice area. The area of Greenbrier and Kempsville is a pretty nice area. nice homes, usually very low crime rate in that area right there. So to see something like this happen was, out of the norm for sure. Um, so he don't look like no Austin Drummond, that's for sure. So, but like I said, he made a huge mistake in Fort Stewart in Georgia. Thank you guys. Um, I'm not quite sure where Fort Stewart is. I am from Georgia, and where they do all the basic training is Fort Gordon. No, Fort Benning. Fort Benning, Columbus, Georgia, is where they do boot camp for most of the Army. So Stewart's in Georgia. I don't quite know where it's at. Um, but yeah, people are crazy. Close to Savannah. Okay. Um, and I'm sure they caught that person, shooting on a base. You ain't gonna make it very far because you got to get past the MPs and the gates and stuff like that. So I'm sure he was caught fairly fast. I didn't really follow it, but I did see the headlines that there was a shooting on a military base today. Okay, Dolly, it's 45 minutes from where you were in Savannah. Okay. I've had enough of Savannah. Okay. I've had enough of Savannah. If I never go back to Savannah, it will be too soon. Okay. Nah, Savannah's a nice place. A lot of good people. Um, I was just, it brings back bad memories for me when I'm there. I mean, my last memory was Leilani going to prison for 40 years, which is pretty good memory, but it still reminds me every time of Quentin Simon and, just all the stuff I went through when I was there. And that was, just something that'll stay with me for the rest of my life. So, and there's just so much going on. Like we have a little boy missing right now, out of Kentucky. His name is Jaden. Let me show you guys this picture because this is a little more important than this idiot we're looking at on the screen. He will be caught. It won't be long, right? He won't make it far at all. They'll have him sometime fairly quickly. But we do have an update from the police. Homicide investigation on Willow Bridge Court. Okay, let me share this before we get into the missing kid for a minute. Right here. We got homicide investigation on Willow Bridge Court. Officer had made entry into an apartment and located an adult female who was suffering from injuries consistent with gunshot wounds. She was taken to a local hospital where she died from her injuries. We actually seen that ambulance on my live leaving with her in it. Detectives are now seeking 39-year-old SHAWN Bokeer for questioning in connection with this homicide. He is considered armed and dangerous. If anyone has seen SHAWN Bokeer or knows his whereabouts, do not approach him. Call 911 immediately. A photo of Bokeer is attached. This remains an active investigation. Additional updates will be provided as they become available. Chesapeake Police responded to a domestic violence assault. 2 officers injured on August 6, 2025 at 10:28 p.m. Chesapeake police officers responded to a report of domestic assault at the apartment in the 500 block of Willow Bridge Court. Upon arrival, officers heard a woman inside the residence screaming for help. As officers attempted to breach the front door to render aid, an unknown suspect began shooting at them through the door from inside the apartment. 2 officers were struck by gunfire. Their injuries are believed to be non-life threatening, and that's when they were transported to local hospital for treatment. The Chesapeake Police SWAT team and negotiators were activated and are currently on the scene. This remains an active and ongoing situation, and officers work to safely secure the residence and ensure the safety of individuals involved. As a result, the police response Greenbrier Parkway is closed between City Park Drive and Kempsville Road. Drivers are encouraged to avoid this area and seek alternate routes. More information will be released as it becomes available. And there, of course, is his picture. Um, And people right here says if they went to Chesapeake Regional, they need double or triple prayers. Okay, that's the first comment. Now, guys, you know, I hear and see a lot of people talk really bad about Chesapeake Regional, but just 1 year ago, almost in just a couple weeks, it'd be 1 year, I had a major heart attack, 100% blockage on my right side, 50% blockage on my left side, and I literally died in that hospital. And they hit me with the. But the last thing the doctor told me, I told him, I said I didn't want to die. I got stuff to do. That's what I told the doctor, laying there. And he looked at me. He said, "Well, we're going to make sure you live." He said, "Then we're going to make sure you live." And then I was out, and they saved my life. I mean, they had to shock me back, but they put the stent into my heart, and you know, what a crazy experience. Probably one of the roughest times I've been through in my life. But I have to say, Chesapeake General, the surgeons and the main doctors in ICU, the greatest ever. They kept me here. I'm here with you guys today. No, Norfolk General is a trauma center. Chesapeake General, a lot of people, they've been talking bad about Chesapeake General for a long time. And listen, when I got out of ICU and they put me on the regular floors, it's like the nurses were horrible. I mean, horrible, terrible, didn't care, didn't check on you. But in ICU, they were on their game. Okay. They were definitely on their game. I mean, in the room with you, checking on you all night long, super nice, sweet nurses, doctors, good doctors. But when you got out of ICU and you were just like a regular patient, you know, on recovery, oh my God, the nurses are so rude and just nasty and like just didn't give a damn, right? And that's how I felt. But the major part of the hospital where it's really important, really good. Okay. That was my experience. The ICU nurses are different. Yeah, well, yes, in my experience, they were. You know, somebody's in there fighting for your life. Last thing you want to do is be snotty and rude and mean, and you know what I'm saying? And like, but they will heavily medicate you. Let me tell you that. Like, I was even telling the lady, I was like, I don't think I need all this painkillers y'all are giving me, you know. And then they would, what it was they were trying to keep me asleep and still, you know, as long as they could. And so they would just have me like on, like I couldn't take it. It made me sick, you know. And but for the most part, they were nice. I can just think of one time, like, because the alarm on the bed kept going off because PJ kept sitting on the bed or laying on the bed beside me. And the lady came in there and said something about her keep setting the alarm off. And I remember I sat up in the bed and told the lady, I said, look, either you're going to crawl in this bed and cuddle with me, or she is. Which one do you want it to be, right? If you ain't getting up in this bed and cuddling with me, you need to get out the room and shut up. Because I ain't trying to hear that, right? But other than that, everybody else was great the whole time in there. And these cops, I'm sure they're in good hands, you know. It's just the nurses when you're in the regular rooms that they're bad. The rest of the people are really professional, really nice, really sweet. They kept me alive, right? And it was major, you know. I'm sure these gunshot wounds are major too, but one was shot in the hand, so not so bad unless you hit an artery. And you know, the one shot in the back is the one that I worry about because, you know, if you're shot in the back, it could hit your lungs, it could tear up major arteries, it could do terrible things. And depending on what type of weapon he had, we don't know. But this dude probably made the biggest mistake of his life doing this. And you know, he's gone forever. When they catch him, if for some reason, you know, I grew up in the Greenbrier area. This guy looks so familiar to me. Like so familiar. And we ain't much difference in age, right? So for some reason, I feel like I know this guy. I just keep looking at his picture and I'm like, this man looks so familiar to me. Where do I know him from? We got to have friends in common. I know this because this ain't a real, like, I mean, it's a pretty big city, but I mean, I grew up right off that road. So it's a thing. And I'm looking at him like, man, why does Sean look so familiar to me? I just can't place him right now. I don't know why, but I know I've seen this dude somewhere before. Like, I guarantee you, one of my homeboys knows him because I've ran across this guy before. That's because the ICU nurses or RNs watching you. Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't know the difference in nurses. They all look the same to me. You know, I just knew some of them were nice and some of them were like, you could tell the difference. Like, it went from really good nurses to like really ghetto nurses. But that's when they had put me in a regular room. And, you know, because I was in ICU, I can't remember. I slept most of it 4 or 5 days, 4 days. And then they moved me downstairs for a couple days. And the downstairs people were just horrible. But upstairs was good. There are RNs on regular floors too. No icky nurses are trauma trained. Okay. I mean, I don't know the difference. I'm not a doctor or a nurse. I just know that when I was in the hospital, they were giving me that stuff with the big F that be killing people on the streets. But I guess it's different in the hospital. When the doctor told me what they were giving me, I was like, I looked at the lady. I said, "Ain't that what people be dying from on the streets?" And she was like, "Oh, it's different in here. We monitor you. We got you. We just want to make sure that you're relaxed and you're comfortable and you get to rest." And oh my God, that stuff, oh my God, made me so sick. Right? I mean, instantly I was like, bring me something to throw up in. And I was just, it was bad. But anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and ramble all night about this. I've been here with y'all a pretty good while. I just wanted to make you guys aware that this dude is wanted for murder. Okay. And I wanted to share this kid before I go. Shawn Boker is wanted for murder. If you're in the 7-5 area, if you see him, instantly call 911. Don't approach this man. He's done hurt 3 people already, unalive one. Very, very dangerous person. Just like Austin Drummond. He's on the run like a rat. Okay. And this kid right here is missing from Jackson, Kentucky. His name is Jaden Spencer. He was last seen last night and he disappeared sometime this morning. Kind of a similar case to Sebastian Rogers. He was in his pajamas when his family went to check on him. He wasn't there, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes. I had that same haircut when I was a kid. I look at the pictures to this day and like, man, what were my parents thinking? But I had that exact same haircut. So he reminds me of a little Dolly. When I was a kid, if I showed you pictures of me, he looks a little bit like me. Hopefully this kid is okay. He's 10 years old. I don't know what Jackson, Kentucky is it how rural or city it is, but I do know that PJ wants you to play her video. PJ better be in bed. Okay, let me see. Medical emergency. I don't know what this is. Okay. PJ didn't send me no video. Not that I got. All right, let me check. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. Okay. Back to what I was saying. It's a video of you videoing. Okay. Let me see. But this young man is missing. So if you're in that area, make sure you're on the lookout. Okay. I don't know if we have anybody from Jackson, Kentucky or surrounding areas, but EquiSearch is out there searching. And hopefully they find something. All right. Okay, it's a video of me filming out there. PJ got her phone looks so much better than mine. She has a new iPhone 16 and her phone films way better. Her videos look so clear. Okay.
3 at 5.
Let me close this. Let me see if they had any updates from the news, like if the news has aired any of those videos yet. Let me see. Reports. 2 Chesapeake officers shot responding to the domestic call. Okay. Yeah, they got a little bit of footage. Let's watch it. After this commercial. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to let the commercial go by. I don't know if it has audio, but we'll see. All right, let me share this.
Good morning, I'm Tom Shad in the Wavy studio. We are interrupting the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon to bring you breaking news coming in from Chesapeake now. 2 police officers have been shot at an apartment complex near the intersection of Kempsville Road and Greenbrier Parkway. This is live now at a traffic camera at that location. I just got off the phone with a police spokesman who told me that this is a very active situation, though you can't really tell from this angle. You see lights on your upper left-hand corner of your screen. That is apparently where the activity is happening at this point. We have 10 on your sides, Markeisha Jackson, who is live on the scene, who just arrived. Markeisha, what can you tell us?
Hey, Tom. Yeah, 2 Chesapeake police officers were shot tonight, but they do have non-life-threatening injuries. They have since been sent to a local hospital. The suspect, though, in this shooting is still on the loose. That's all coming from Chesapeake Police.
Okay.
Now, what we gathered is that this all started right around 10:30 this evening. Police were responding to an apartment complex in this area for a domestic dispute. Once they got to said apartment, they heard a woman screaming on the other side for help. They tried to then gain entry into the apartment, officers did, and that's when a suspect fired at them from that apartment. The officers were obviously caught in that fire and got shot. Both of them have been sent to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and now this situation just remains active as the search for the suspect continues. You can see here behind me where I am, just off of Kempsville. I mean, the roads are blocked off in this area. Police, one more just arrived here on scene right here behind me. The roads are blocked off. Very active situation. If you do not have to be in this area, you are advised not to be in this area. Again, where I am here on Kempsville Road is blocked off, and the streets are actually closed between Greenbrier Parkway, City Park Drive,
No,
and Kempsville
didn't
Road. And
catch him.
drivers are again encouraged to avoid this area and seek alternate routes as police still work to figure out what exactly took place here. What do we know about that suspect right now? This is still active, and these are the latest details that we have. But we, of course, will remain on scene and work to bring you the very latest details when we have them on air and online at wavy.com. For now, live in Chesapeake, back to you, Tom.
And a police spokesperson told me, Markeisha, a short time ago that the SWAT team is there with negotiators currently. Maybe they may have a close idea where this suspect might be. Have you heard anything to that effect, that they are negotiating with somebody?
Yeah. Tom, from where I am right now, I haven't been able to see SWAT myself, but from a release we got from that police spokesperson, we do know that SWAT is on the scene in this area, working to still secure that residence. So whether that's bringing those inside out or working to learn more about where that suspect could have possibly went, we do know that SWAT and police are still in this area working those details out now. And again, everybody just advised to stay clear of this area if you can. If you don't have to be here, it's best that you just stay away and let police work this out and try to figure out where things stand now, where that suspect possibly is, are negotiations going on, and things like that.
All right, thank you. Markeisha Jackson reporting live from Chesapeake tonight. Just to quickly recap, at 10:28 tonight, the call came in from Chesapeake Police that 2 police officers have been shot at an apartment complex near the intersection of Kempsville Road and Greenbrier Parkway. Willow Bridge Court is the area where this is happening right now in the 500 block. And we're told those police officers were taken to the hospital with injuries believed to be not life-threatening, and no arrests yet as they continue negotiations in that area with SWAT negotiators and making sure that everybody there is safe. No word on any other injuries, but we understand that parts of Greenbrier Parkway are shut down in that general area where that situation is unfolding tonight. We will have much more on this as it comes in on wavy.com. We'll also be here with the latest information live on Wavy News 10.
Okay, so basically his information was about the 2 officers shot, but there was a woman shot inside the apartment. She was shot in the head. She was pronounced DOA when she arrived at the hospital. She didn't make it to the hospital. They wasn't negotiating with anybody. After he had fired those shots, he fled the apartment, most likely through the back. Chat, is Dolly covering 2 cases of DV and the missing boy? Well, I was just throwing the missing boy in there because that's important. He just went missing. So I want to share him as much as I can, even though we're talking about a different story. We're talking about an active shooting that took place. The person that is on the run is SHAWN BOKER, 39 years old. I got 29 in the video, but he's 39 years old. He's a ginger. Okay, these gingers have been acting up lately. I don't know what's going on with the gingers, but not good, not good. And I swear I know this guy. I just can't place where I know him from, but I believe I know him. And, you know, I grew up in this same area. So glad you're home safe. I'm glad I'm out in the rain. It was a little wet out there, guys. But hey, you know, sometimes you got to make sacrifices, and that's what we do, you know, to bring you up and close and as we can with things. So I'll be a little more prepared for some of these things that go down here. I don't usually cover too much news in my own area. Believe it or not, I usually cover things everywhere else, and I don't cover much here. And there's a lot that happens here. Now, I did cover a couple. I have covered a couple things, and I covered a lot of things in Virginia, but not so much stuff in my backyard. There's a lot of killings around here. There's a lot of shooting. We've had a lot of police shot here too. Just not long ago, 2 police were killed, and now we got 2 police shot. So within the last year or so, we done had a bunch of police officers shot, and that's pretty. You got an interview, Dolly. Well, yeah, I was there to ask the spokesperson for the police some questions, and I may cover more things here, but I got to be a little more prepared for crazy weather, right? I wasn't so much prepared for that, and a decent microphone on me so you can hear a little bit more clear of everything. So we may add some better cameras, better mic. Well, we got good microphones. I just don't never use them. I got them right here. And I got some really good microphones, right? I got the really good one. These are the DJIs. So, and they're the clip-on ones too. So I don't never use them though. They're all Bluetooth and they charge in this little case that I just don't never use them. They're expensive too. But I got them. I just don't hardly ever use them. And we ran out the door in such a hurry. I didn't grab everything, right? I didn't grab my gimbal, so the video wasn't shaky. I didn't grab my microphones. It has a little, if you can see, it has a little DJI set up where I can hear I can have 2 mics on. So it'll hook up to an Android or it'll hook up to a iPhone. Also to any camera. It has a cold shoe right there. So I already have the good microphones. I just didn't grab them, which I wish I would have. But, next time. So them are the ones I usually take on the road with me. And, of course, they have the little wind to catch the wind. The little things. I thought I had 2 of them. Oh, I do. I got the windscreens for both of them. There's the little windscreens. And they got little magnets, too, so you can stick them on things. I just ain't had a chance to really, I didn't have a chance to really take them with me. But I'm going to make sure I have a grab bag that has a decent, extra battery charger with me, my microphones with me, my gimbal with me so it ain't shaky. And I need to update to the 16 like PJ. That's what I'm going to get. I have one. I just didn't have it on me. I have a stabilizer. I have the microphones. I have everything. It's just I didn't have it on me. So what I need to do is put everything in a grab bag. And, of course, I got one of the best cameras you can get for videotaping. I got the Sony A7 III, which has great low light. My camera's nice. I mean, my camera's like super nice. I mean, I had it sitting right here on the table. I don't know why I didn't grab everything, but I still got to take the videos. This is my Sony A37. This camera was expensive, right? And I use this when I go ghost hunting or shooting anything like that I'm videotaping. I usually do a lot of live, so I don't get to use this camera as much as I like. But this is my Sony, what is it, A7 III. This is an expensive ass camera. And then, of course, I have wireless mics that go to this camera too. This is the Rogue setup. That's a pretty expensive setup too. I mean, I got really good gear. I just don't use it much, believe it or not. And for my show, I don't really use that great of a camera. I use a T7, I think, a Canon T7 that I broadcast with. But I have all the gear. I just need to put it in a jump bag so when I run out the door, I grab it, And the only thing is I can't broadcast from this camera, right? So unless I get a live view bag, which I could do, but them things are like $1,600. So I may end up saving up and getting one so I can broadcast from my good camera and not from my phone. Because see, when the media is out there, they have live view bags, right? There's a book bag that they wear, and that's what broadcasts, right? So you can have it hooked up to like wireless Wi-Fi. You can have it like a hotspot with it, and it sucks up all the bandwidth. Usually, when you get near reporters, everything starts to glitch because they're sucking up all the bandwidth because they're broadcasting live. The difference tonight was they were recording, they wasn't live, right? Well, the news reporters I was beside when I did the interview, they were just recording, they wasn't live, so they wasn't sucking up all the bandwidth. So I may eventually get me one of those bags, and I still got to get the footage off that camera that we took at the Lily boarding house and see if there's any ghosts in it. Right, we haven't even looked yet. But I may get me one of those bags so I can use my really good camera. So when I'm on the scene, it's crystal clear. I mean, that camera's clear as shit. So, but they're still like, you know, I got to add all that stuff to be able to broadcast it live to YouTube with that camera. Right now, I'm just using my phone. I think I got an iPhone 14, right? So I need the 16 because I was just looking at PJ's videos and hers look way better than mine. Has there been an update on Jack and Lily? No updates on Jack and Lily. RCMP have dropped the ball on that. And of course, tomorrow morning is Austin Drummond's arraignment. Hopefully we can get a live feed for that and bring it to you guys in the morning. So I need to get out of here because I got to get up early. And I don't know if I'm going to be up. I've been up kind of late tonight and I'm kind of tired. And I know I'm going to go in there and watch a movie. So I will try to be here with you guys in the morning. If not, we'll show it tomorrow afternoon, his arraignment. By then it'll be on all over YouTube anyway. But I'll try to get up. I'll try my best. I may be a little tired and grumpy, but maybe I'll be here. All right, guys. Y'all be good. Be safe. Yeah, new interview on ABC 24 Memphis. Okay. I will check that out. You guys be good. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys hopefully in the morning. Peace.